You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex rolls on here. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry here, sitting in for JJ today. He's got a couple days off. Sly, nice enough to hang out. Perfect day for you to come in. We got to hear from Coach Kyle Whittingham for the first time last hour since the announcement, since the press conference in true Kyle form. But now I'm going to listen to it. I think we're going to play it again this hour, and I think when we do, in about 30 minutes, I want you to re-listen to the things with a different attitude. If you listen to his commentary based off of the fact that there may be a job out there that he may be wanting, then I think you might be able. It's like those things where you like look at it and you're like, if you suggest it to somebody, that's what they see in the picture. Right, you know what I mean? Right. So we'll see.
Just want to lead.
Little Rorschach test on Coach Whittingham's presser from this afternoon, but you'll also be able to hear from Devon Dampier in just a few moments as well. The Utah Jazz tonight. It's a Jazz basketball night. You're going to get a 6 o'clock pregame and a 7 o'clock tip over here at Delta Center. And, of course, the Lakers coming to town, which makes it extra fun. Let's kick things off here. We're going to get the coach, Tim LaComb, on here with us, and we'll kick it off with the cut right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And this portion of the program, The Cut, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Tim LaComb on the program here with us. Coach, how are you, man? It's been a minute.
It has, man. It's been quite a while, but I guess it is the season. Football's winding down, and basketball's about 25 games in, so it's a good time to kind of pick up where we left off.
But, of course, we crowned an NBA Cup champion, and so that was obviously something that was way on our minds going into that. Do you think that the Cup is landing – do you think the NBA Cup is landing with the fans and people are running with it a little bit, or is it still just one of those gimmicky things that Adam Silver's trying out and it not isn't? I don't know. Does it have the same effect? Do the players love it? I think winning $500,000 is pretty cool for everybody on the roster who wins it.
Yeah, it's funny. I had that conversation with a couple of people today, and my take on that is that I think it's a nice – 82 games is a long regular season, and not really ramp it up. Sly can probably speak to you play hard in the regular season, but nowhere near when, you lose, you're out type situation. So there's some urgency to it, and I think that's what makes it so great. I really enjoyed watching the games. It was fun to watch those teams compete, and definitely surprised me. I thought OKC would run away, but San Antonio was tough, and the Knicks ultimately tougher.
Yeah, I don't know if I could speak to 82-game seasons. That's a lot. We were just talking about it with hockey, right? Hockey, the physicality of hockey running 82
But they
games.
also do the same thing where they got to find, a place where they can get going in the season to kind of motivate themselves, a little bit extra.
Oh, right? Yeah. You get to – I'm telling you, with in the pros, it was week, 11? I think we call it week 11 and week 12. That's the low period. Especially all the rookies were falling asleep in meetings and stuff. You're all giddy and excited around week 1 and 2, and then you're week 11, you're just out of there. But man, these Utah Jazz, they are I don't know how to figure it. I feel like the team is better than they were last year, but 10-15 on the year already. They had a remarkable game against the Dallas Mavericks the other night. What is your whole overall vibe of the team this year?
Well, I think some major steps have transpired. I think I think there is a guy now in Keyonte George kind of emergence, and, it's a 25-game sample right now, but, I love the vibe nightly, and there's a consistency to that. He really kind of came into the season and flipped the script from, what can this league do for me? What can this team do for me to, what can I do for others? And, he made that pretty clear in the media day right out of the gate, and he's really played to that. I've been really impressed with, his ability to understand that really the details are, like Coach said, the game's won and lost in the margins, and I definitely think he's cleaned up margins. You know, he's right now on I would think an all-star pace. If not this year, you know, which I think probably if he keeps it up should happen. Definitely an all-star type player. So that change is very immediate. The trajectory of what this team ultimately can be, not just this, you know, not speaking of this year, but down the road. When you've got another really solid piece that you can throw in there and understand that they're here already. You don't have to go figure out how to get them, and they're giving you now all that development you've done. They're giving you a ton of ability to see that your decision was good, you know, to go with them, to pick them. And so when that development happens and all those pieces start to get put together, it gets pretty fun. So I think that's been number one for me, is his emergence. I think his ability to, you know, really kind of throw himself into this team. He's averaging over 7 assists right now, 23 points a game. You know, it's been on a crazy stretch the last few. But I think since December it started, this team has kind of flipped through another valley and have cleaned some things up and been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I actually, Coach Hardy actually just recently said, and I found it interesting, but he's like, we're now having to look at it a little different. We have to look at Keyonte a little differently as far as the projections and where this team's at. What exactly did he mean when he said that? He said something around the lines of we're having to look at Keyonte differently as far as how we're evaluating this team. Yeah,
their expectations have totally changed as a coaching staff, yeah.
Yeah, what did he mean by that?
Well, I think from what we've seen, and frankly, I think it's pretty public that, you know, his exit interview at the end of last year was one that, you know, he got told a lot of hard things, but he got told the truth. And I think this relationship that he and Will have bonded together through that, you know, just saying, look, man, you look around you and look at the guys that aren't in the league that were in your draft class. And that can happen to you, you know, if things don't change. And, you know, quite frankly, the turnovers were too high. The decision-making wasn't great. The defensive effort and being plugged in on the defensive end wasn't, you know, a strong suit, I didn't feel like. And, you know, he'd have big nights, but his shooting percentages weren't what they needed to be. And so I think you put that all into a bag. And, you know, there's a guy that's got to do a lot of work in the offseason. So I think everybody had high hopes that this is what you would see from Key. But until you see it in a 25-game span, you can't really plan on it, right? And so I think that's what Coach is referring to.
Well, I think one thing too, Tim, I mean, it's one thing to hear that from your coaches, because I guarantee coaches across the league are having these hard conversations with a lot of guys, and there are a lot of guys who don't respond, and their time in the league dries up. And to be able to not just improve on the things that they asked you to improve on, but, I mean, it's beyond exceeding the expectations, I think, that even the fans had. And I think that part of what's been interesting to me is watching how he and Lowry work together. Now, Lowry's out tonight, but I think Lowry's having a great year as well, and I think part of that comes with the fact that Keyonte's having such a great year.
Yeah, there was an assertiveness and an intentionality, I think, on both those guys' parts. You know, you can remember when Keyonte went out to Finland. And then obviously Keontae's ability to connect with the other guys on the team, his storied trip to Dallas with a bunch of guys to work out and have some fun in his hometown. I think that is really, you know, that feeling is what's different about this Jazz team. You know, the second in the NBA in assists this year. And
crazy.
And honestly, up until the start of December, they have not shot the ball crazy well. But since December, you know, the three-point shot's starting to fall more from a 34% percentage clip to a 38.5% clip since December 1st. So really, so many things can get cleaned up if you just make shots. You make shots and the other team can't rebound it and run back at you. I mean, there's so many elements. And so I feel like they've really shot the ball better, you know, since that point. And Keontae's been huge on that. I think his decision-making, like I said, and then just like that cohesion, that chemistry you speak of, when your best players are out there and they're really unified like Key and Lowry are, it's easy for guys to fill easy for guys to fill in. It's when your best players are lazy, and they don't really want the best. That's a real struggle because guys in their roles understand what their role is, but do they really want to challenge those guys and run past them? There's a lot of those inner workings. So to have your best players aligned, that's awesome.
As I mentioned, the groin injury that Larry Markkinen, I don't think it's a super serious one. They're just kind of monitoring, making sure that it can kind of get right before he gets back onto the court. But he mentioned the development of Kyle Filipowski. And what have you seen out of Flip this year that has been he had a really great summer. He had an awesome summer league. Great. That doesn't necessarily translate into you being a great player yet. He still has a long way to go. What are they asking of him now? Because obviously he's going into these games. There's no Walker Kessler. He's asked to stretch himself a little bit differently on these nights. And if Nurk is out, then he has to do it even more. What's Flip been doing that you've been impressed by this year so far?
Just about everything, honestly. I think you hit it on the head. He's been throwing a lot of different curveballs and challenges. There's nights where, he and Kevin Love have been the last line of defense at 5 for the night. And but it's worked out because guys have worked together through it. They've actually won games in that situation. I think Flip is an incredible hit for the Jazz, as a second rounder. Those contracts are a little different, and I think the way he's playing certainly exceeds that. So you got to feel good about that. I think his summer league really gave him so much confidence, and albeit against guys that aren't necessarily NBA guys, I said from day one of the reasons that fits so well with the Jazz is he replicates something that we saw working, and that's what Kelly Olynyk was able to do. Very effective to just plug and play. And you notice wherever Kelly goes, he finds the rotation because he can catch it, he can think, he can put it on the floor for a couple of bounces. He's got a move and a counter move, and he's actually got a perimeter shot. Mm-hmm. So you plug those guys into most systems, and they're gonna flourish. So I think that's what the Jazz saw in Kyle when they drafted him. They got a steal, in my mind, and what he's added this year to all that is, and I think Lowry said it best. Lowry was interviewed after the last game and talk about Flip, and he said he's making grown man plays now. There's a period where you come into this league and you're just kind of big boyed, and you got to figure it out from a scheme and technique standpoint, but also just from a strength standpoint. So I think Kyle's done a great job just getting himself stronger too.
Well, and you brought that up about guys who are probably having some pretty frank discussions. I feel like Cody Williams is probably one of those guys. His minutes have been falling off. Taylor Hendricks has been, to me, one of those guys, and maybe it's because he's still coming back fully, maybe. Those are two different guys on different trajectories, obviously. But what have you seen out of Taylor Hendricks and Cody Williams' development? Cody especially, everybody's waiting for that corner to get turned, and I don't think it helps that, from the patient standpoint for fans when they see that Key's doing so well, and they're waiting for Cody Williams to turn that. What does he need to do to be able to turn that corner?
Just continue to get reps and to continue, like this G League stuff's been so good for him. And, the other night against Dallas, he came in and scored 9 consecutive points.
Right.
In the guts of a game, a game that teams were competing hard. There were no fives on the floor, so it made the box score look a little skewed. But there just wasn't a ton of rim protection on the night, which then, you got open guys from 3. You got guys guarding the best they can, but if the rim's at play all night long, you're going to get stuff, and I think that's why you saw the score go where it went. But Cody was instrumental, and it's been maybe never that I've said that, So that's a step forward, and you just have to prepare for those steps, then you have to execute them, and then you get your next step. And it's hard for a fan, but I would just simply say go back and look at the roster at the end of the Donovan Mitchell era and look that it was so, you had Donovan's money and you had Rudy's money. And then you had a bunch of guys. I mean, Rudy Gay was getting minutes on that team. So you just look now and you say, not only if Key really hasn't emerged as an all-star and Lowry's one, and Walker Kessler, in my mind, is an elite 5, in this league on the rise. The guy that runs the floor like a gazelle, does what I just talked about. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can, play the handoff game. He's a major threat vertically rolling to the rim, and he can finish. He definitely finishes most everything. He's creative around the rim, and then he's a certified, big time shot blocker. So you've got those guys. You've got a guy in Ace who's still in the oven, right?
Yep.
Talk about different stages, but Ace is in the oven. But man, don't you love the thought of a maybe year 2.5 Ace Bailey alongside those guys? And then what do you get out of this year's draft? I mean, obviously that's the TBD. But I think this is the last year we're going to be talking about the lottery around here. I really do. I've been watching this since they tore it down from the studs. And to me, not only those guys I talk about, but then the guys that need to come in and accept the role, which is already kind of being defined. You talk about what Flip does, what Taylor does, what Cody does. They come in, they play their guts out for a period of time for different reasons. Cody's going to go in there with his length. He's in there at the end of the game and guarded, in key possessions with his length. And so different guys, but the key of that is they're acclimating to those roles all the while the stars are getting better. I think some great things are happening here quietly. I think there's a lot of critics, but people that kind of sit and watch it night after night, you're definitely seeing improvement.
Well, I just think we need more viral moments of Will Hardy cussing people out. And I think that's...
You don't need the viral moments. He's doing it. Everybody else already knew that he did it. If you've ever been to a game, he gets fired up. Man.
I'm not doing this every night. I love that. That was awesome.
What's neat is, you played for Scally and Whittingham. They would never use such language.
Oh, are you kidding me? Never.
You go down to BYU. You go down to BYU, you'll catch that.
Those guys.
You go down to BYU, you're going to catch those strays too.
I left in 2019, so I think they're clear of that now.
That's good. No, you know what? That's right. They've improved. They don't get that wild. But whatever, the players are saying it on national TV, Tim. That's what's going on.
It's a little different BYU now.
It's crazy.
Nowadays.
So what about tonight's game against the Lakers and how they approach that and this crazy Western Conference, right? We're talking about the Northwest standings and that whole conference with OKC and Minnesota and all the different teams in that Northwest Conference. How does the Jazz keep up in the Western Conference as a whole? You got the Lakers coming in tonight, and how does that game look?
Game tonight, if I remember right, you're a Laker guy, aren't you, Sly?
What'd you say?
Aren't you a Laker
You're
fan?
a Laker guy.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's asking, and then he's doing some recon. Yeah.
I'm just doing how are your thoughts on the game tonight, and then I'll get my impressions.
Yeah. So I think obviously I think the development for the Lakers this year has been Austin Reeves doing what he's doing. He's 27 a game,
right?
Alongside Luka, that's 34, and there are two guys in the league that really just play with the game on a string. I think Shea benefits from having like-minded guys around him, and I think their force is different. But you play LA or you play Denver, and the game's on a string for one guy in both of those games, and it's Doncic, and obviously it's Jokic. But very similar approach, and so you got to contain him. You can't foul him. It's hard because he knows all the tricks and uses them all to his advantage. I was talking to a former college coach on the phone today, and he had happened to catch the Lakers in Dallas in LA a couple of weeks ago. And he just said, it's the first time I've seen Luka live. And he said, I just can't believe, the term he used was his gravity, and how the game really, if spacing is everything, he just creates so much space for himself, but so much for his teammates, and then sees whatever's going on. Mm-hmm. So I guess, first of all, you got to hope he had a bad chicken dinner prior to the game. That's going to help. Because he's so great at all that.
Dinner?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody delivered that flawed pizza. But no, I think you got to make life as difficult as you can for him.
Right.
Austin Reeves now the second option. And now, and LeBron, the comment my buddy made to me is like, you didn't even know LeBron was out there.
Right.
I mean, that's how far that's gone. So pretty crazy. So I think the Jazz just need to focus on themselves tonight, keep getting better. They definitely need to figure out a way to handle Luka, but then I think there's a lot. The Lakers are not great defensively either.
No.
In the bottom, 5 defensively in the league. So Will Hardy's great at exposing their weaknesses, so I think they'll do a really good job of making LeBron, Luka, Austin guard in space, and that'll be kind of how the Jazz choose to attack.
Yeah, they're giving up a lot of points, but this pace, they're almost to 120 a game, Tim, which would be a record for that's where we've gotten in the NBA, by the way, is the Jazz scoring almost 120 a night on average across the season so far. It's been fun to watch, though. I'll tell you, these are any of the games I've gone to. They've been overtime games. They've been games that have gone to 140 in regulation. I love this kind of stuff. So we're gonna be able to hear from you and Jake Scott, of course, coming up in about 35 minutes here as the pregame's gonna get started off here. So, Coach, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We know that it's extra work for you, but we really do love it. So, thanks for being with us, man.
Oh, hey, talking to friends about sports, that's no work, my guy. It's all good.
There you go.
We're just talking.
Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you again, man.
See y'all.
There you
Bye-bye.
go. All right, let's take a break. Hey, when we come back, we're going to get right out because I want to be able to play as much of this Kyle Whittingham sound if you missed any of it. And then we'll be able to also hear for the first time from Devon Dampier, who also spoke at practice, even mentioned kind of the future of what it looks like for him, whether or not he's going to officially come back. Spoiler alert, looks like he's probably coming back. Stay with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on the Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Good pull. Weird Science was one of those shows when you're watching it when you're a kid, and you're like, if Mom walks in right now, my brothers and I are going to be in big trouble. What are you watching? Worst thing ever is when your parents you're watching a movie with your parents, and that scene pops up, and you go, "Oh boy!" And then everybody just stares forward and is dead silent.
What are we
We've
supposed
all
to
been
do?
there.
I feel like Ricky Bobby with my hands. What am I supposed to do with my hands? I don't know, Mom.
You're just staring forward.
What do I do?
And you just, what's Dad going to say? And always they're like, oh, can't believe this. We hit the fast forward button. VCR starts going, click. All right, I think we got through it, Mom. There we go. Welcome back, yes.
Oh,
JJ
we missed
and
the
Alex.
part. Rewind it.
Oh, no. And then when they leave, then you go back and watch that scene because you go, come on.
You know this all too well. You've done this a
Listen,
lot.
you and I grew up in the 80s, my guy. Like, we know.
I just had the blanket with the holes in it that I could see through. Just cover your head.
All right. Let me see here. Hey, Utah availability today for the Las Vegas Bowl, Nebraska and Utah. I'm scratching my head trying to figure out where these teams are going to land on how seriously they're going to take it. In Nebraska's case, Dylan Raiola gone. Obviously, Matt Rule's got an interesting thing to deal with here because Nebraska is a little bit in shambles. It's just not a good time for a bowl game, to be honest. But Kyle Whittingham, for the first time, addressed the media today since stepping down as Utah's head coach and since Morgan Scalley was named the head coach. And now with availability, of course, he had to face the press corps today, and he did it with style, even though he didn't want to answer all the questions. But here's what he said, and included in there is the possibility of a future. Here's what Kyle Whittingham said after practice and talking about how practices are going.
Business as usual. We're just going through the paces and getting ready for the ball game. And players have got a great attitude. What have we had? 5 practices now. Every one of them has been really good. So just got to keep going. With another one tomorrow, another one Monday. Give the time off for Christmas. Fly them down to the bowl site and get going again.
Well, for you, what was the reason to kind of ultimately do it at this point?
Well, the program's in a good place right now. As I've said many times. After last season, just didn't sit right with anybody, particularly me, and so came back and fortunately we were able to get the ship righted and everything's on track. Program, like I said, is in a good spot. got good coaches. Coach Scally will come in and do a great job. Got good players. So now is the time.
Is coaching out of your system?
I don't know if it's ever out of your system. I mean, it's in your blood, and so I don't know about that. Not that being said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it's when you got the coaching in your blood, it just doesn't go away.
So to clarify, is this not a retirement?
Well, who knows? We'll see. I guess stepping down and step away and reevaluate things and see where we're at.
I guess what does that process look like for you if you want to decide whether to pursue opportunities or move into your role at the year?
What's the process look like?
Yeah.
If my phone rings, I answer it. If I like who's calling, then we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much the process.
You've been under contract for a long time in your adult life. This is the first time you're kind of a free agent.
I'm a free agent. I'm in the transfer portal. So yeah, it's a different feel, but like I said, I'm at peace, and I did not want to be that guy that overstayed his welcome and people just saying, hey, when's this guy going to leave? That was not my intention ever, and I hope I didn't do that. I'm sure with some people I did do that, but the time, to me, the timing is right.
So you never felt that from anybody?
Well, let's talk about our guys. Let's talk about our players. The time is right for me. I just felt like that's my best answer.
Yeah. What did it mean for you to coach?
Well, there's Kyle Whittingham. He continued to answer a few more questions, but he didn't want to keep talking about the retirement thing, Sly, and we talked with PK after we initially heard it.
Right.
And, yeah, he left the door open. So here are the beats. The program's in a great place, so it's a good time for me to leave.
He's in the transfer portal.
But stepping down is not retirement. I mean, he's being very clear about it. I think that, hey, whatever. I'll take phone calls. I'll take your phone calls right now. Line up. I'll take your phone calls. If it's interesting, I'll stay on the line. If it's not, I'll hang up because I don't need this. It's a great place to be in if you're him because people will want you, and he's got to make that decision. Obviously, coming up here, but I think you're gonna see some opportunities. I think you're still gonna see some dominoes fall. The beginning of the year is going to be very interesting after all of the seasons kind of wrap up, and then we do have it is totally done. I think by then we'll be able to have a really good view as to how some of these jobs are going to start shaping up, and so some dominoes are going to fall. We'll see if some of them do, and it's interesting. I want to hear the Devon Dampier sound because first time we'll be able to hear from Devon since the final game of the season and final availability. Here's what he talks about getting ready for this game and also what his future may look like at Utah.
How's bowl prep going?
It's been fun. Obviously, we're proud of what we did, but we got one more. It's been a minute since we won a bowl game, so we're practicing for this win for sure.
What was your reaction when you heard Kyle was stepping down?
Kyle, that's a legend. I got a lot of respect for him. I think he's transformed this program. He's made it perfect for Scally to step in, and I'm excited to still be a U.
What are your thoughts on Scally taking over?
I'm very confident in Scally. When I came here on my visit, that was someone I talked to, and he let me know the rundown when his time comes. He had his full beliefs in me and in my talent, so I'm perfectly fine where I'm at.
Devon, there's obviously this time of the year a lot of guys will opt out, whether it be an NFL draft or other reasons. Is this one of those games where you considering still playing, or how does that work with kind of the health that you've had and some of that stuff?
Yeah, I chose to finish out this season with my team. I'm going to play it in the game, but some people it's a lot higher stakes. Got a couple of first rounders and things like that. So we know those guys love us. They let it be known every day since they've been here. So we still support those guys. They support us.
Have you officially decided to come back for next year, or are you still kind of mulling it over?
I keep getting this. Y'all gonna see. But it's good. It's great. I'm very happy to be here. Seriously. Yep.
What about you and Bird already officially announced to have you guys, if you're both back, what would that mean to this team?
Man, it's going to mean a lot. We're trying to do something special, but it's got a little leaked out before we can get to it, but it's coming. Okay.
How important is it for you guys to, you talked about not winning a bowl game in a while, but how important is it to, also send Kyle out on a win?
It means a lot to me. Again, I could try to speak for everybody on the team, but me especially, just that's a coach that believes in me to come in here year after being at New Mexico, and just had full trust in me in the offense to do what we do, and that's just huge respect from him and just what he's done for this program. This is one of the only programs in college football where you know what youths do, you know how they play, and you know the mentality. So for him to leave that up, I got to finish well for him.
Devon Dampier, Utah quarterback, given the first beats there of prep for the bowl game, but Sly, pretty simply put, he's coming back. He's got a smile on his face. I think he loves the situation that he's in.
Simply. We were trying to do something special for you.
I know.
But it's coming.
He's
what?
like, yeah. I think what that means is Annapolis was talking with us in the break, and is like his agent, Ficklen's agent, got it out there and kind of ruined it.
Because it's a one-man show. That's what all this freaking stuff is. It's not about it's all individual.
They were planning on like somebody going to be kneeling in front of the other guy with a ring.
They were going to do a TikTok dance.
With a ring, be like, will you be QB2?
Side by side.
All right, we'll take another break here. We'll come back and get you ready for the Utah Jazz taking on the Lakers over at Delta Center tonight. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Best and worst on the program brought to you by Doug Smith Dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Dodge, Ram, Chevy, Subaru, Kia, all the brands. Now Mitsubishi in the fold as well. So American Fork, Spanish Fork, and Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. The Seahawks and the Rams are playing tonight, and Puka Nacua might be a touch distracted. He's been in the news. I think he's been a little bit distracted because he's had to apologize for an offensive gesture that he says he didn't have any idea it was an offensive gesture, which I get it. Until I saw what it was, I had never known that.
I don't even know what it was, but I just know that
everything's getting filmed. It's fine, yeah. But then he also went on that rant this week about how refs are trying to get on TV and they're making PI calls just so they can get some screen time, which I think is kind of funny. But to make things a little bit worse, Samson Nacua, his older brother, recognize that name?
Samson.
Sly said I had to call him a former BYU Cougar.
Yes, you do.
I think you have to qualify it as both.
I mean, in situations like that, that's what he's known for. Yeah.
So former BYU and formerly before that.
Once he cleans up, his act, then he could
be a Utah guy.
He's
Samson Nacua was arrested in alleged theft of one of the Lakers rookies' SUV. Was there a misunderstanding?
Was it a joke? Was it something like, who does that? And why would you, like a high-profile person?
I'm joking. I just took it for fun. So he and another guy both got arrested.
It's not a Josh Hart joking, but,
Please, we could not even mention that. Jeez. Settle down with that stuff, Josh Hart. Man. Yeah, so I don't know. So Seahawks and Rams tonight. That's a massive one, NFC West. My Seahawks versus Annapolis's Rams. And it's awesome to have 2 11-3 teams in that division. And what's crazy is that the 49ers are 10 wins. And then you've got the friggin' NFL or the NFC South that is a dadgum mess. They're like, I'm 7-7. Let me in. My name is Jeff. That's what their division is. That's what their division is. So they don't have. It's just a tough division. I think the Seahawks at home tonight, I don't feel great just because they did not play well against that Phillip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts team. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The Jazz, on the other hand, taking on the LA Lakers coming into town. We were trying to figure out if LeBron would play tonight. What are your thoughts on this one? Is LeBron going to play? Not out. I don't know. I didn't see on the injury report if he was
Lowry's
out. Lowry's out. Yes.
Who's going to guard LeBron? Yeah, he's playing tonight. He's going to go for 36.
The thing is that you don't have to worry necessarily about LeBron as much.
I mean, you get their backcourt's dangerous, but like LeBron's just worried about catching baseline oops, man. That's all he's going to do. His last time in Utah, go out with a win. Yeah, it's just got to be a little farewell for him on the jumbotron here in Utah.
Yeah.
Show LeBron some love, Utah folks.
Did you say no LeBron? Yeah, I think he's available. I don't know how much that means he's going to play, but, you know, you have 34 and a half that Luka averages, and then you've got that's going to be a fun one. So we'll see you. Over at Delta Center tonight, that's coming up right now, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Stay tuned. Pregame next.